All right, got beat tonight by a Penn State team. Congratulations to them. They earned that win tonight, beating us. Thought the game, and we really wanted the game to kind of be tight throughout in regards to, I don't know, you want to call it dirty, sloppy, physical. Thought that was taking place, and this score sat at 14-10 for a lot of the game. Punting, field position. They are good on defense, and we did think, though, we had to create a couple of opportunities situationally to take a shot, and we just did not capitalize a couple of times. I think about the first half even. We got a possession start on our own or their 45-yard line. We go 4 and out. You're not going to get many opportunities like that. A short field didn't take advantage of that. And then into the second half, I think even about the first series. We go down there, it's 3rd and 4. Really, we're going two-play thinking. We get into the wrong direction on a play, and they hit us in the backfield, and now we end up punting. That was an opportunity with field position to continue a drive. We didn't do it. And again, and then at the end, you got one red zone chance. They're up 2 scores at that point. Then we got the sack fumble that they were able to separate from there. Proud of some defensive effort, 4th down stops. I thought they kept us in it throughout the night. Gave up the one 75-yarder that was a bust. Outside of that, I thought they really battled to keep us within striking distance throughout the night, and then it got away from us at the end there with the sack fumble, like I mentioned. Questions?
Jonathan, I'm wondering, after a game like this, because everything between the Minnesota game, this game, so many close games where you fought for 3 quarters or whatever, and then that big drive in particular, the 9-minute drive, how do you keep these guys fighting back when it wears down like that?
Well, I think they're about fighting back, and they're continuing to grind. I even think the way we practiced this week headed into this, and really with the way these guys played throughout the game. I mean, they are playing hard and going that drive. They are making them earn it. This isn't a drive full of explosive plays. Yeah, it was. It turned into 4 or 5 and kept lining up again. And credit to Penn State, they were finished in that drive you're speaking to in the fourth quarter there. But I think on our end, these guys are going. We want working. We got to get better.
Jonathan, I was wondering if you could kind of describe what happened to Aiden this week with the foot or whatever, and also Alessio. I think it's 12 sacks and 2 starts, and what you guys got to do to try and keep him upright.
Yeah, Aiden tweaked his foot during practice, and it didn't look good for the game, and so the majority of the work last half of this week, Alessio was being able to get, and I thought he prepared really, really well. We do want to work to protect him, and again, it's 11-man football and protection. That's why I get a couple of times early in this game, I didn't feel like the protection was the big issue. We did run into it in the second half where we're trying to push it down the field a couple times. I thought he avoided well. Alessio showed a little bit of athleticism. I thought he showed a few reps where the ball was getting out of his hand, getting to his 3rd and 4th read. Think about we're running flanker drive. He hits Messina, so that's the third read in the progression. That ball was coming out. So back to it, yes, we got to protect him. The 5 guys in front of him, the schematics help out once in a while. But you got to pick and choose once in a while to be able to try to push it down the field, and you run that risk.
Jonathan, over on your left. You've spoken about the identity of this team, how you want to build it out to own both sides of the run. When you see that 9-minute drive, when there's 12 straight run plays and they carve up the defense in that way, how do you react to that?
We're not there yet. I mean, we want to be able to. And again, that our defensive side throughout the night, I thought we played solid defense, kept us in the game, like I mentioned. But yeah, they began to lean on it, and that's credit to Penn State. They got some good backs and a good old line.
Jonathan, going into this game, what did you think you could get on Penn State offensively that wasn't there?
Well, selectively, a couple of shots. I do think one sack, we've got to let a play way down the field open, schematic. So there's some selective explosive plays, but we needed to be efficient in the run game and in some of the possession pass game to stay and maintain some drives, and we didn't do that well enough tonight.
And if you subtract the sack yardage on designated pass plays, netted less than 100 yards, what do you need to do there to be competitive in Iowa City?
Yeah, we're going to find ways to. We had the one explosive run, and then it was pretty slim pickings as it goes along. So you got to go look at the scheme. Each team's a little bit different schematically and matchups and all of that, but we want to have some balance offensively in the run and the pass game, and wasn't good enough tonight.
Coach, mathematically eliminated from bowl game participation. What's your message to the team to make sure that they keep going forward? And secondly, is this now time that you start maybe playing some of the younger freshmen in the final 2 games?
Yeah, the message of the team in the locker room was heavy amount about the seniors who just played their last game in the stadium. Talked about the respect for everyone in the room individually, but also the respect to the amount of work that's been put in. And so we got 2 more opportunities, and that'll be a message of still finishing this thing the right way.
Jonathan, over here. Nick Marsh has, I think, 2 catches for 5 yards. I'm just wondering, in terms of where he is in his development, the protection, all that, just sort of what leads to a guy of his skill set winding up with 2 for 5?
Yeah, some of that, they had some coverage where they're, clouding, not just particularly Nick. They're playing some too high coverage, so you're getting double teamed on the receiver. We did take a couple of shots, or at least I'm thinking about the one where Alessio believes getting hit and underthrew it, or it was the wind. Nick's been working, just like all the guys, and yeah, we'd love to see some more, passes completed to him. I know we got some targets his way. We want to get some more completed to him.
Jonathan, in the middle here, the main issue today has been protection, and that was last week. At this point in the season, what do you go about coaching-wise to try to improve that for the final 2 games?
Yeah, I mean, we got to keep looking at it, right? Because I do want to own a lot of this as coaches. We're putting these guys in the positions, right? And we got to win some one-on-ones, and at the same time, when you play against, like I just mentioned, they're playing some too high. You do 7-8 man protection, it gets too high. That's going to be uphill sledding in your route concept. So we got to keep looking at it, and we got to find a way to do it better.
Hey, Jonathan, over here. I was wondering with Wednesday, we haven't talked to you since Wednesday. I was wondering what your thoughts were on Wednesday's news with the NCAA's sanctions, vacated wins, and how you address that with your team.
Yeah, that's been a long kind of process, negotiation, things of that nature. I echo our leadership in regards to getting something behind us so we can move forward.
With the adversity, and you look at the student section being almost a lifeblood of a program, what does it say that you got a significant number of students shirtless, waving towels throughout the game, despite the adversity and the challenges the program's been facing?
Yeah, I appreciated the crowd really throughout the night. Student section, I thought they were in it. Like I was saying, our defense holding it at that score 14-10. This thing's got in late into the second half, so our crowd makes a difference. Our student section makes a difference, and we want to return that favor by continue to grow this program to something that they're going to be celebrating all 4 quarters and after the game.
Kind of going back to what Matt asked you about the sanctions and the vacated wins, and then adding in a 7-game losing streak on top of that. How do you keep the fan base engaged for the final couple weeks?
Yeah, look, we're working to have some success out there, and taking some body blows, we'll call it. I know it's not a lack of effort out of this coaching staff and those players in there. We've been proactive, understanding through these negotiations that this had a good chance of coming, so we proactively on the recruiting side, even in the spring and the fall, we took some limitations on the recruiting side, proactively knowing that this was coming.
Jonathan, did you know about this investigation when you took the Michigan State job? When
No.
was this brought to you?
No, I did not know.
Okay. When about was it introduced to you that it was
Yeah,
existing?
early, this year. Yeah.
And then I had a question about the 75-yard touchdown. Was that Spencer supposed to hand off the coverage to Smith, or what was the miscue there?
Let me get to say what I hear on the headset. I haven't watched the clip, but there was some miscommunication between the two of them back there.
And in these last 2 games, for the fans and the stakeholders, what do you feel like you need to show and what the team needs to show to those people?
Well, yeah, we want to have some success and win a game. I do think we're showing that these guys are playing with great effort and means a ton to them. We've got to get better. We got to grow. We got to develop. We need another year of development of the current roster and a recruiting class to keep this thing getting into a better direction. I'm still confident in our approach. This game's not for the shy. This ain't easy. This is a big-time league that's competitive and tough. You're playing big-time coaches and players week in and week out, and we've taken a couple lumps here.
Jonathan, touching on the vacation wins part again, really quick. I guess how does an ineligible player appear in 12 games last season?
Yeah, it's a good question because oftentimes, or all the time, any player that participates in an NCAA game is cleared eligibility-wise through compliance offices. And so on our end, we were not aware of it when that was taking place. Yeah.
Also wanted to ask you about Elijah as a guy that's made some plays late in the season that hasn't had a big role all year, but last 2 weeks has stepped up a couple of times. What have you noticed from him to stick with it? And
Who'd you mention?
Elijah Tautala.
Oh, yeah. He's had back-to-back games, big plays, obviously the start. That start was a great run tonight, but I thought he had some other good carries, some catches, guys making a miss. And again, going back to guys growing, continuing, he's playing his best football at the end of the year because of his approach week in and week out.
Jonathan, I feel like you've been honest with us about a lot of things throughout the course of your tenure. I'm wondering, how much does this affect your tenure in terms of what the vacation of wins means and selling the program on the recruiting trail? Because it sounds like you were upfront with kids that you were recruiting.
Well, we weren't talking about this to recruits. Where I'm going is spring recruiting this year, knowing we proactively lessened the amount of evaluation days, lessened the amount of visits this fall. We weren't proactively talking to it. We definitely are talking about the current recruits right now, knowing that this is all in our past and will not impact in any way their experience here at Michigan State.
And for you and your staff, how has it been to kind of navigate through that?
I think we got a professional group of coaches in regards to, we're navigating. There's going to be you're always adjusting and things, still confident in their approach and the place that we can do really good things here.
One more thing about football, the offensive line. Untimely tackles for losses in certain situations might be like third and medium. Maybe you're telling them 2 plays to get it and then end up losing a yard, and it's 4th and 5 a couple times.
That particular play, I'm sorry to cut you off, tonight, we got in the wrong play. That wasn't on the O-line.
Okay. Well, how do you think the O-line's coming along with the pass protection and tackles for loss today with their latest body of work?
Yeah, let me watch the film, but they're never timely when you're going backwards. And again, that's a good defensive front we were going to play. We were going to need, though, to pick and choose sometimes of taking some chances down the field, and didn't work out tonight.
And one more thing about the vacated win. Sorry to ask you about that again, but you personally, how much does it bother you or anger you that the NCAA took 5 wins away from you and those players?
I don't agree with it, and I think that's similar to the stance at Michigan State, that we don't totally agree with it, that I think we could modernize, I think was a part of the quote, how penalties are enforced.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, real quick, so we're clear, right? You asked that question, Stephen. We found out about that after the season. Okay? January. If you go back and look at the case report,